y'all, it's Charlene from the Crafty Art Shack, and today we have 3 awesome little projects that we're going to work on today, and I think these are just adorable. So let's get to the craft desk and get started. Let's go. Alright, you guys, here we are with DIY number 1, and at the craft desk we got this rolling pin for $1.99 is what it said on the price tag, but I'm pretty sure I got it for half off because I've got a bunch of rolling pins and I know I wouldn't have paid that much. So, and it was found at the thrift store. First thing we're going to do is we're going to paint all the handles with that Rust-Oleum Linen White chalk paint. And we are going to paint both handles. And then we're going to take that teal color and we're going to paint them teal after the white chalk paint dries. Now that we got the handles painted the white and then we painted the teal, now we're going to paint the base. Now you guys, I did sand this as I was doing the project, so you need to, before you start your project, which I didn't show me doing it, I sanded this really good so that it would take the paint. And what I'm doing here is painting this with the Rust-Oleum Linen White chalk paint because I want it to be white with that teal. And I'm being really careful not to get it on the end pieces. I guess I could have taped them, but I just didn't. And I just painted. Then after that chalk paint dries, I'm going to put this emblem on it. Now what I did is I taped down a piece of tissue paper to a piece of regular copy paper with my purple painter's tape. And then I'm going to cut it out. And when I cut it out, there you will see the tissue paper. And so what I'm going to do next is I'm going to tear it around the edges because I don't want this to have those solid cut lines. So I'm going to just tear the edges of this off to make it kind of look rustic-like. Now that I've got it all set up to go, I'm going to check my sides again and take a sanding block to it. Make sure I didn't get any paint on it, on the ends, and if I did, I'm just going to sand it off. Then I'm going to set it back on my blocks, and I'm going to see where I want my little bakery sign. And then I'm going to take some Mod Podge, and I'm going to start applying it to my rolling pin with a small paintbrush. And I'm working in little sections because this is really paper thin, and once you put it down, you really don't want to lift it up again. Now I am going over the little edges of it. I'm not going to put a whole coat on it until after this part has dried. Now after that has dried, I'm going to go and put a little bit of black on my paintbrush with a little bit of water. And I'm going to go back and forth on my rolling pin handles because I don't want this to look real stark, bright in color. I want it to look old and countrified, or whatever you want to call it. But that's what I call it. I call it countrified. I saw a little place that I needed to touch up, so I put some more white back on my paintbrush and fix that before I coat this whole thing in Mod Podge. Now I'm going to coat my handles in the Mod Podge so that it will be they'll be protected and this paint doesn't peel off. Okay, in this next part, I wanted to have little stripes going down the sides of my rolling pin. And so I took and put some of that teal, and I had a little bit of black with it, and I put it on there after I put my painter's tape on, and then I got it good and dry, and I came back and peeled off the painter's tape. Now when I was taking that painter's tape off, I noticed that some of that stuff came off, and so I was taking my tape and sticking it back on there and pulling more off. Well, that didn't work everywhere like I wanted it to, so I got my utility knife out and I decided I would just distress this by scraping up some of this before I put the final coat of Mod Podge on this rolling pin. You guys, this is so adorable. Now here we are, we're putting the final coat of Mod Podge on this, and you guys, this turned out so cute. Okay, here we go with DIY number 2. And you guys, we'd like to thank our subscribers for subscribing to our channel. We love you bunches. Here we are with DIY number 2. Now I'm going to take paint sticks and these fern strips that have been cut, that were already pre-cut to a size from another project, and I am going to nail them to paint them all white with Rust-Oleum Linen White chalk paint. Then I'm going to take and brad nail those top pieces in. Now if you don't have a brad nailer, you can screw those in. And then these are 3 paint sticks that I cut down to the size that I needed. Now how I determined the width of my little washboard that I'm making is I took and I'm going to staple those down, is I took a piece of metal that I got from the Dollar Tree, and that's how I decided my width. Now this little piece of metal you can get at the Dollar Tree. And look at there, this is going to turn out so cute, you guys. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is I wanted to trim out that piece of metal before I put it in. Now those are the ends of my sponge brushes, when the handles, that I save them all and use them in projects. Now what I'm doing is I'm cutting one of them down because I need 3 of them to do this project. Now what I'm going to do next is I'm going to put those together just like that, and that's where they're going to sit in my project. Now I was trying to decide whether to paint them now or paint them after I get them on. Paint these before you put them on in that Rust-Oleum Linen White chalk paint, because you want that to be not get on your metal. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get some screws out, and these are just regular old wood screws, and I'm going to screw this piece of metal in. Alright, before you put your screws in, there is already little holes in this metal piece that the Dollar Tree has. It has 4 little holes already. So what I'm doing is I'm going in there and I'm drilling pilot holes through those holes into my piece of wood. Because on these little fern strip pieces, if you don't do that, it is going to split your wood. Every time I've ever done it and didn't do that first, it split my wood. So I'm going to get all the sawdust off there, and I am going to go in there and start putting my screws in. You guys, this thing turned out so cute. Now those fern strips that I've got, you could buy one of those for about $1.98 at Home Depot, but this, I found something at the Restore that was a bunch of these fern strips pieces, and I was like, oh, I could use that in so many different projects. And so I picked it up and bought it, and I think I paid $1.99 for it. And you guys, I've used this for a lot of projects. Now I'm going to take out the stencil that I got from the Dollar Tree. You guys, I've used this stencil in a lot of different projects already, so this was no extra cost to me. But it says wash and dry, and so I was going to get that, a little sponge brush, and some of that Dollar Tree black chalk paint, and I'm going to just go up and pounce on the stencil and put that on there. I had to push my stencil down in that corner because it was lifting up and it wasn't allowing the black paint to go in there. After I took my stencil off, I went back in with a very fine brush and I connected all my letters so that this didn't look like a stencil, because I wanted it to look very, I don't know what you call it, but I just wanted it to make it look like it was hand painted on there. Now the next thing I'm doing is I'm taking my little sponge brush handles and I'm gluing the 2 pieces together, and then I'm going to stick it in there in the where I was planning on putting it, and put lots of glue down. Now if you put glue on that metal, you better work quick because that will dry it out. I mean, it dries fast on that metal because the metal is cooler. So I put that one in, I touch it up, and I go ahead and put the one down towards the bottom as well. The next thing I did is I took my sponge brush that had some black on it from where I did the stenciling, and I went and put some little black marks all throughout this little washboard to make it look old and rustic. And you guys, this is so cute. You could even add a bow to it. I didn't add one to mine at this time because this is going to become part of the another challenge that I'm doing. And so y'all look for that video to come out soon. Okay, you guys, here's all the other places you can find us. We hope you go look us up. And here we are with DIY number 3. This one was a little sign that I had got at the thrift store, and it says, as for me and the Lord, or as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. But I didn't like the wood behind it, so I'm going to paint it with Rust-Oleum Linen White Chalk paint. I took a couple of coats. Now what I'm going to do is put, after that's dry, I'm going to put on a coat of the black chalk paint from the Dollar Tree. Now while that's drying, I found the wording that I wanted to put on there. It's the same wording that was on there originally, and I printed it out on my laser printer, and I'm going to do the reverse modge podge method, and I'm making it jagged along the edges because I don't want it to, it's easier to blend with your project when it's like that. And so now that my black is dry, I'm going to go back with another coat of white, but I'm not going to put this one on real thick because I wanted this to have that wooden rustic country look. So after that dries, I'm going to go and Mod Podge on my graphic. Okay, then I'm going to put a generous coat of Mod Podge on this, and I'm going to put it down on my project. Now what you see me doing here is this little door came with a handle, a door handle, and some hinges. So I'm just going to put all the hardware back on this little project. Now the reason why I taped the edges of this is because I didn't want to get paint on the back, because the paint, what was on the back was a little stand, and it's really nice, so I didn't want to mess that up. So now I'm taking all the paint off because I'm just waiting on that Mod Podge to finish, and I'm going to put my little handle on. And next you're going to see me add the water. Now I did wait 24 hours, and I'm going to put enough water on there that I can start seeing the graphics come through, and then I'm going to rub it until I get them all off. Now that I have it all off, I'm going to go in there and put a coat of Mod Podge, and I did use the shiny one on this with the lustrous finish. And here it is. Now I took a ribbon and a little key and hung it on the doorknob, and I'm putting some flowers at the top. You guys, I love this little project. It turned out so cute. And here we are with the final reveal. Boy, that was quick. And here's our little washboard that we made. You guys can add bows and stuff to that. And here's our little last for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. And our little bakery rolling pin. You guys, this rolling pin is so cute. I can't wait to see my daughter's face when I give it to her, because she'll just love it. And if one of the other ones want one, I have extra. All right, y'all, we're back from the craft desk, and these projects are so cute. I think my favorite out of all of them is the rolling pin that I did. I've been waiting to do one of these. I keep seeing different ones done, and I finally found something that I wanted to put on one, and I think this is adorable, you guys. And I love this and the washboard as well. That washboard's been set up to make for over a year, and I finally got to it. So I hope y'all have enjoyed these, and we'll look forward to seeing you in our next video. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next episode here at the Crafty Art Shack. And we'll see you later. Bye!
You guys, yeah. I don't know what to end it with. Yeah. Messed it up. Don't miss our next episode here at the Crafty Art Shack, and we'll see you later. Bye!